Hey, are you one of those people who like to dress to impress? We've got Craig Cahaley from Cahaley's Custom Clothing on this episode of the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast. We're going to be talking about how to dress to impress, a mindset of successful business people, and daily routines. Stay tuned.
Hey, this is Liz, and you're listening to the SouthCack Syndicate Podcast.
Episode 26, Jared Kutterman.
Kyle Voss.
Man, we're just going to jump right in here on this one today. I'm really excited about this one.
I'm excited because we've got a string of guests. We've kind of put in, well, I guess we had the one.
That's right.
But
I'm in Hilton Head next week, by the way.
Oh, thanks for telling me. We'll make it happen. We'll make it happen.
We'll still.
If you're listening or watching, you'll still get a show.
Absolutely. So we're going to jump right in today with our guest, Craig Cahaley. Craig, it's a pleasure to have you to the SouthCack Podcast.
Thank you guys for having me. Looking forward to doing it.
Yeah.
Craig Cahaley is the founder and owner of Cahaley's Custom Clothing in Anderson, South Carolina.
Yes, sir.
If you're watching, Jared's got some
new gigs.
So it worked out because Craig is also friend first, Taylor second. Not really Taylor first, friend second.
And you don't really want me to be your tailor. I just do the measuring.
And then he just been around. I've known Craig for a long time. He got referred to me years ago, and I've been using him ever since. So he had some stuff to drop off this week, and we just scheduled him as our guest for today, and it worked out good.
It's awesome.
Looking forward to it.
When you get a tailor that will deliver,
That's right.
that's important.
That's right.
I don't
So
think
do you deliver all this? I guess you have to spend a certain amount before you'll deliver, huh?
Well, Jared's a very special individual, so we deliver him.
We know that. We know that.
So there's so many topics I want to talk to you about. But first, let's kind of get a background for you of how you got into not tailoring. You're not a tailor. You're just a provider of custom clothing. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. I just own the company. I have manufacturers that work all over the world, but my story's quite interesting, I think. Anybody that has either been to college or when you got out of high school were working, and I was very fortunate. My parents paid for my school, but my parents also paid for my two older brothers' school. So my oldest brother graduated high school in 1988. I graduated in 1995. Graduated high school in 1995. So from 1988 until I finished school in 2000, my parents paid for college. So they were 12 years running. So in 1999, late in the year, my dad called me and he said, my dad calls me Bubba. He said, Bubba, you're killing me.
I'm tapped out.
Killing me. I'm about tapped out. He said, I need you to find a job just to get some beer money somewhere or something. He paid my rent and, whatever my apartment bills were and all that. So my oldest brother, who lived in Columbia, South Carolina at the time, called a friend of his that owned a men's clothing store and said, listen, my little brother's a senior at Carolina. Is there any way you could give him a job? So he said, yeah, sure, I'll hire him, but make him come by here. We'll run him through the ringer and give him a real interview. Sure.
Yeah.
So I went by there, didn't know what to expect, had no clue, grabbed a suit out of my closet that I had for whatever reason.
From Belk's or something.
And
Men's wear, Joseph A. Banks.
So I go by there. The gentleman's name is Joe Lurie. He owned Lurie's men's clothing store in downtown Columbia. He hired me for $6 an hour.
Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joel.
Oh, Joel.
Joel, yeah. So he hired me, and I worked 3 days a week, $6 an hour. Was making a little bit of coin. Thought I was pumped, getting $150 every 2 weeks.
Gas was only 79 cents.
This is true. My girlfriend at the time, who's now my wife, I went back. She lived in the apartment right below me, and I said, "Listen, what do you want to do? I got so much daggone money. What do you want to do? We're going to Sizzler tonight. Let's go."
Well, and hold on, let's back up because I would bet in that industry. We've talked about this before. You start meeting people.
Oh, absolutely.
That dress nice, that make some money. And
absolutely.
Then your mind starts to change a little bit too, right?
At the Sizzler.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So, so I worked there. I had a customer come in one day, and everybody had their guy, So I was just a new guy just running, making sure the shirts were still straight.
Sure.
And I had a guy come in one day, and he didn't ask for one of our salesmen. So he was a new guy, never been in the store. And so I started working with him and picked out I can remember exactly what he bought. He bought 2 suits, 2 sport coats, 4 pair of pants, and 2 shirts. And so anyway, we picked it all out, put it all together, and he went home. Long story short, he came back in a couple of weeks, and he told me, he walked in the door, and I was in the back in the stock room, and he said, "Is Craig here?"
And they're like,
I was like, "Wait a minute, did somebody just ask for me?" So I went back up there. I was 21. And I went back, and so I talked to him. He said, "My wife loved everything you picked out. I'll need to get some more stuff." So I was like, this isn't a bad gig.
Yeah.
So I did that, and then
you probably get some commission too, huh?
yeah, that's right. I saw him not too long ago. And then I had a kind of a rival store from across town in Columbia. Walk in, and the guy said, "Hey man, I've heard about you. I hear you're a young salesman, whatever. Would you be interested in coming to work for me?" He walked right in the store
And asked you.
That's ballsy.
He asked me if I would walk outside with him. And I walked outside, and y'all get a kick out of this. So I walk outside, and he says, "Tell me," I can see this as clear as day. He said, "Tell me what it would take for you to come, how much money you need a month."
And you're like, "Who are you?"
No, he's like $750.
Well, listen to this. Here's what's funny. So
I'm out of here.
So he says, "Tell me how much it would take for me to pay you a month for you to come." And I thought, I'm going to throw this guy.
Well, did you know who he was, I guess?
Oh, yeah. He had introduced himself.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm going to throw this guy a number. And if he does this, I'm walking in there and quitting.
Yeah.
There.
And I said, $1,500 a month. And he looked at me and said, "Done." I was like, "What?"
Wait, hold on. I messed up.
Yes.
I thought you was talking about every 2 weeks.
I thought it was paycheck.
That's what I should have said. And then I really went back to the apartment complex and told my girlfriend, I was like, "Whatever you want, baby."
We made it.
Forget this.
Let's go car shopping.
So anyway, then years later, I came into Anderson in the upstate area, and I was one of their number 1 salesmen. And then in 2009, I started my own company.
So when you left, it's when he come in there and he headhunted you basically. Mm-hmm. When you quit, did your current boss, he tried to keep you? Did he be like,
Was he pissed?
Well, you would think if he was as good as he was,
He should have treated him better from the get-go.
and somebody was headhunting him, he had to be good.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Joel and the guys that own that company, they were great people.
Yeah.
And obviously gave me my first opportunity, but it was kind of like, if you want to go, I did it all the right way. I called my dad. He was like, "You give them a 2-week notice. You tell them where you're going."
Now, I will tell you this too. In the corporate world, there's a saying that says, "Go be successful somewhere else, and then you can come back here." A lot of companies look at people like that for some reason.
If you're going to better yourself, absolutely.
Well, a lot of companies too will they don't want to pay the current employees more.
That's right.
But I've seen it so many times where those employees are like, "All right, well, I'm gonna leave." They get a better job somewhere else, and then years later,
They come back.
then these people go hunt them back and pay them what they should have paid them in the beginning.
So what they did was they let them go somewhere else and get all the experience.
That's right.
Yeah, and I think it has something to do mentally where it's like the grass is green on the other side, where you always think the better talent is somewhere else.
right.
And it's not so redundant. They get out of their own element and do something. There are, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 people I would bring from the Midwest today.
Yeah.
From my old company to work with me again on the project.
Well, we talked about it, like I'm in the fabrication industry. I know guys locally right here that build race cars. All their customers come from somewhere else.
Sure.
Everybody that's around here that wants to have a race car built, don't go to them.
That's right.
They go somewhere else.
That's right.
It's like it's like, oh yeah, if I take it 3,000 miles away, I get a better job. It's like this weird.
There's two different analogies to that, or examples to that. One of them's kind of funny. When you're fishing off the bank, you throw out.
We've talked about this.
When you're fishing in a boat, you throw to the bank.
Yeah. Yes.
And the other one is, and I heard this a long time ago, and this is so true, the smartest man in the world lives 50 miles away.
Yep.
And I'll give you a perfect example. I have a good client and friend of mine who's a surgeon. And for some reason, there's no way in hell I'd let him operate on me.
Because you know him too well.
Because I know him too well. But he has people from all over the state come to him to do particular operations.
And not only that, if you need an operation, you would let some guy that you don't even know.
That's right.
Do the
isn't
job.
that weird? That's it's not the way it should
crazy.
be.
You're right. And I agree with that. And I've noticed this phenomenon in many aspects. Fishing was one of them because I think I've used that exact same example. But I've seen it in fabrication. I've seen it with Jared with music. Like he won't play local. He won't play local venues.
Sure.
He wants to go into the Midwest to play. But then all of his buddies want to come here to play. It's like this weird.
That is true. I've never really thought about that. That's right.
We all have a natural inclination to do things, especially in the business world, entertainment world, away from people we know. Because the people that, we can't ever forget, entertainers, politicians, celebrities, athletic celebrities, whatever, they're no different than we are. And they have people who really know them. They're celebrities that do things, and I'm sure their friends are like, that guy doesn't feel that way.
He's or he's dumb as a rock. I don't know how he got there.
That's right.
And maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's an expectation thing where when you get to know somebody too well, you see their flaws.
Sure.
But maybe everybody has those flaws.
Sure, of course we do.
But in your mind, you're like, no, he's better. But his friends are like, man, I wouldn't let him operate on me.
That's exactly right, because you know him.
Yeah.
You know everything about him, and that's funny the way that works.
Thank you, sir.
That's for your
my bourbon
pouring.
All right.
Thank you, Liz.
We're only 10 minutes in. We're already talking bourbon.
Yeah. So I want to talk. We talk to celebrities, etc. So you fit all kinds of people. We're not going to name drop here.
Okay.
But you've got coaches, congressmen, senators, governor,
Maybe.
of some states. Yeah. So how long did it take you to get from leaving Joel, working for the new guy, to go, I think this is my path? How old were you, for one? And then when did you decide that this is my path?
Well, that's a great question. I was 20. I said I was 21 a minute ago. I was 22 because it was 1999. I was 22. And I think after I had worked in the business. I got married in 2003. And after I had gotten married, I figured out that if I could continue to build and grow a clientele and let it spider web out, that there was a chance there. There was a chance. I thought I was pretty good at it. I knew I was pretty good at dealing with people. So I thought if I can really hone in on the clothing part, which I've always loved clothes anyway.
Sure.
That it could spider out. And then what it is, I use this analogy. I said, you get up every morning and, you get up, you go to the restroom, you go brush your teeth, and next thing you know, you've been doing it for 46 years. And you do the same thing.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, that's right. Whatever. And that's kind of the way this was.
Sure.
At first I was just getting up and going and doing my job. And you look up and you're like, wow, now I've expanded to here, to here, to here, and here, and here. And then you have people calling you and saying, hey, I want you to see Jared Ketterman. Well, who's that? Well, he's a good friend of mine. I want you to go call him.
That's right.
And it just continues to spider web out. I
would think that business in particular is probably the most
networking affordable business.
Yes, because once you have a guy, why would you go anywhere else?
Yeah, that's right.
If he keeps you happy, does his job.
I would never look for another tailor.
Yeah.
Well, and something I've found too is I have always tried to be a real person. Like I don't consider myself I'm a salesman. I don't want everybody to think I'm a salesman.
Don't try to take yourself too seriously.
I am a salesman because selling clothes is my job.
Right.
But I have always really I am very aware of thank God I'm in the position now where I can deal with people that I like. And I want to be friends with them. I want to get to know their families. I want to get to know their wives.
It's the best way to run a business.
Yeah, because I don't want them I want them to look at what Jared just said. I know he was kind of joking and not, but I want people to say this, look, he and I have a good relationship. He's a buddy of mine, whatever, and he does all my clothes.
Yeah.
And if we screw something up, we'll fix it. And if we do this, they don't have to worry about, well, I went into a store and this guy was mean to me. That's not what I do.
Yeah.
No, that's right. Somebody here next door was having a wedding a couple months ago, and they're like, Jared, we need a tailor. Like, well, we have an emergency. And I went,
I got to go.
I didn't even give Craig a heads up because I knew he'd take the call. I just said, here's Craig's number. And then they called, and he apparently took care of the problem.
Took care of
Yeah.
So that
and the good thing is,
said there.
Back to what you were saying, where they know you're going to make it right. That's a great way to run a business because, obviously, if they know you're going to make it right, that means that you are doing what you're supposed to do as far as on the customer service side, right? You're not going to get, if you just go to some average place and get a suit off the shelf, good luck.
Yeah.
Once you walk out the store, wherever you're at, there's no calling somebody.
Men's Warehouse isn't gonna.
No,
you're not calling that dude and be like, hey, man.
The other thing to me is it's not only making it right. I think that's the only way to run a business.
That's what I'm saying.
If you are honest to people, because this is something else I found over the years of dealing with different people, and I deal with all kind of people, is to be able to look a grown man in the eye and say, listen, man, we screwed it up, but we'll fix it.
Yeah. I'll make it right.
It's not the end of the world.
Yeah. Guess what? You're going to sell years more worth of product by that one. Matter of fact, I believe that sometimes a screw up, and if you fix it the right way, it's a better, better for your business long term than it would be if you didn't have that screw up and you didn't fix it the right way.
The biggest client I have, this is no lie, the first time I made him 3 suits, he's a big dude.
Yeah.
They weren't even close. And he will tell the story. We're almost best friends now. He's one of my best friends. Been selling him for 14 years. And every time he'll tell the story, say, man, you should have seen the first 3 suits. But he looked at me, handed to me. I said, don't worry about it, Mike. I'm going to remake them all.
I'll take care of it. And then you got a customer for life.
Yep.
Look, I had one blazer, and he's done, I don't know, half a dozen for me already. And I had one that
I've been jealous of some of the stuff he's done for you.
It just didn't look like the picture we talked about.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so far off. And I was like, Craig, I'm not trying to be difficult. And he's like, yeah, you are. But he didn't charge for the blazer and replaced it with a better one.
Yeah. So what do you do in that instance, just out of curiosity? Do you hang on to those and try to sell them something?
I gave it to him. I mean, it's custom made.
I wore it with a Halloween costume once. I dressed up as Andy Lee, actually, and wore that guy. I sent you the picture that night.
Did you really? How'd you do the hair?
Don't worry about it. How'd you do the hair? He's got great hair.
You don't have any hair.
I know it's short. But Craig's always been known. That's why we still use him. Always been known to take care of the end user first.
Yeah, I am one of those guys. I will pay up for something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the saying I tell all of our employees every time we have a meeting, and they probably get tired of hearing it. And it's a little bit cheesy, but it's very true. Cost is only an issue in the absence of value.
That's right.
That's it.
Listen.
Hey, right, we're going to pause right quick. Say that one more time.
Cost is only an issue in the absence of value.
That is so true.
Quote of the podcast, right?
That's
there.
right.
Mm-hmm. And it's so true because
if I had a Bradley bomb, I'd drop it right now.
Yeah. Because people have to understand, whether it's your insurance agent, whether it's your stockbroker, whether it's the guy that cleans your cars, whatever it is. If you are griping and bitching and moaning about price, then there's something else they haven't shown you. Right. They haven't done something else.
You haven't got the value.
Now, I'm not saying you can be 100 times over a market value or whatever. But when you have, and I've told people before, I've had guys come in and say, I'll give you this for a suit. And I'll tell them, you're dealing with the wrong guy.
Yeah.
I'm not a
we don't negotiate.
No, I'm not going to negotiate.
You know what's funny about that? And I'll give you obviously what you do is a little bit different because there's, in my personal opinion, there's so much more value that you guys offer versus like just walking in somewhere and buying something off the shelf. But a prime example of that where somebody's buying something they know is not worth what they're paying is like bottle service in a club.
That's right.
But there is a lot of extra stuff that they get in that obviously makes it worth it to them. Mm-hmm. You know, they probably get like a special seating area. They get like special ladies that are bringing those or whatever.
Or just a straight dopamine release for retail therapy.
That's right.
I mean, I am one of these guys.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny, but it's true. Like when you just go in, you know you're going to spend X amount of dollars on something that you may or may not need.
I don't know. I think I'm different because I got some buddies of mine too that they go to a special place to get their hair cut. Mm-hmm. And they got bourbon there.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, and they got this and that.
It's the added value.
They pay a ton more for the same thing you could get basically anywhere. Yeah. Because they're not getting like, they're just getting their beard trimmed and haircut.
Sure.
Yeah. But it's all the extra. It's the ambiance. It's the environment. Yeah. It's all those things kind of wrapped into one.
You got to go to Craig's. He is.
Yeah, well, I'm going to make that happen.
Why don't Craig tell us the address and a little bit about the building you're in? Because you shared the main building in a restaurant, a bar, custom
Coffee shop.
Yeah, a coffee shop, and then a custom clothier.
Well, we're in downtown Anderson. We're at 208 South Main Street in downtown Anderson. I don't know if it's the most historic building down there, but it's one of them. Was built in 1891. It was
Same year this building was built.
Was actually called Sullivan's Hardware. So it was and back in the day, way back in the day, it was where, everybody went to get horse feed, went to get, whatever it was.
All the stuff.
Not just Sullivan's Hardware.
Variety store or whatever. Yeah.
Sullivan's Hardware probably doesn't do it justice for what all it carried.
Yeah.
Because I think back, if you look in the early 1900s, and even all the way up till maybe the 50s, those stores carried everything.
Yeah,
they carried
shop.
everything. Yeah,
yeah.
So
flour and nails.
But that building sat empty for years, and a gentleman named Bill Nick has started a restaurant in there, which I think is the best restaurant in Anderson. It's a very nice steakhouse, and it's called Sullivan's.
Mm-hmm.
And they had a little end cap, 700 square feet. Mm-hmm. But it's the most, I can't ever say this word right, trafficked. There's the most foot traffic of any building.
We try not to say that word.
So I loved being in there because it's where everybody from the courthouse goes to lunch.
Yeah.
It's where anybody in town, if you're bringing guests in town,
it is. You know where J. Peters in Anderson is? It's the historic. You go.
Well, hold on. How far are you from Magnetic South? The brewing.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. So
if that far.
They're on the main drag.
Okay.
So am I.
He's in the historic district where it's walkability.
I'm right past the courthouse.
Yeah.
Well, I thought that's where Paul had his.
He's right up from the courthouse, but he's on the main drag.
Oh, okay.
You could walk there, but it'd be like walking from here to.
So when you say main drag, are you talking about like Ramcat versus Main Street?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So in his window front, man, if you had parking, you'd be crushed.
Well, we were just having this discussion the other day. We live in a world now where if you want to be anywhere that is bustling, you're not going to have any parking.
Yeah.
No, that's right.
I mean, but
always going to be full.
But we're not a retail store, so we don't have people that drive by and say, "I'm not going to go in there because I can't find a parking place."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I have Jerry Ketterman coming down. He's got an appointment at 2:00.
Yeah, that's
sometimes he can get in the front, and sometimes, but they're going to come.
Yeah,
it's a destination.
Right. Yeah.
I'll walk a block or two. But what a great opportunity to have all your restaurant just go right by. I've been getting measured in there, and it's all glass. So anybody that's walking in the restaurant, the bar, or the coffee shop, or whatever, they're just watching the whole process. It's almost like what Cody does here on Main Street.
Yeah.
At the shoe shop, we've got a friend of ours that runs the shoe shop here, and he never put a blind up, and he's still true shoe cobbler.
Love it.
So if you need any shoe work,
you know what? I would love to know a guy that did that.
he is the guy.
That's awesome.
He's going to be a good guest on the podcast.
Yeah.
It'd be a good story. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to hear all about successful working men's routines.
Okay.
How it's changed?
No, they're your daily routine. Where the clothing business is today, where it's going next, and a lot more with Craig Cahaley. We'll be right back.
Let's face it, shopping for insurance can be time-consuming. When it comes to your auto and home insurance needs, make things simple and trust your Allstate experts. They will help you get the coverage that fits your needs while helping you bundle your auto and home. Bundling saves money, sure, but it also saves you time. So you can enjoy the things that matter most even more. Contact Clemson Allstate agent Shane Smith at 864-654-1047 today for a free personalized insurance proposal. Allstate, are you in good hands?
We're back with Craig Cahaley from Cahaley's Custom Clothing in Anderson, South Carolina. Craig, appreciate you being here. I want to get right back into the...
Hold on. South Carolina and...
Macon, Georgia.
Macon, Georgia. I have a location in Macon, Georgia.
And you have another one, right?
Downtown Greenville.
Okay.
And 2 in Anderson.
Okay. All right. Go ahead. Sorry.
Like an empire, like a clothing empire.
We're working on it, baby. Going to Fort Mill next.
South Carolina, really?
Mm-hmm. But that's a different division. That's called Black Tie by Cahaley's. That's my wedding venue, wedding rentals.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Interesting. Before the commercial break, we talked about successful people and their routines. So give me, like, what does your go to bed time look like? What is your wake up schedule? What do you do before you go to work, etc.?
Hold on before you answer. I want you also to throw in there, do you feel like those routines can make you successful or not? Like, do you feel like there is a correlation there?
Does it change your mindset?
Yeah.
Let's go.
So it's funny when you ask me about a routine because I have a weird thought on routines. The answer to your question is I believe yes.
Okay.
But I could also say no. And here's what I mean by that. I believe that it is so good. Matter of fact, let me just throw this in there. One of the things that was so odd about the whole COVID situation was everybody's routine got broken.
Right.
And when people's routines get broken, they get out of sync. It doesn't mean you walk the same steps and you wear the same shirt and you do that's what people think of routines. Routines are what you do on a daily basis, and people get used to them, and that's how you thrive. So my answer to that is yes, I have a routine. I get up every morning early, 5:30-ish, go to the gym. I come home. I walk straight to the coffee machine.
Yep.
Because I don't drink coffee before I go.
True.
I walk straight to the coffee machine. I make a cup of coffee. I open my back porch door, and I sit there and I watch the chaos ensue as my children get ready to go to school.
I heard that.
Which is bananas, and anybody that have kids knows that.
Yep.
My wife is up every morning before me. She likes her alone time, and she gets up and then in between when the kids leave and before I take a shower, I do a little devotional every morning. And after that, then I go take a shower and I go to work. And one of the things that I found out early on in my career was before I had an office, I worked out of my house. That was a hell of a lot easier to do when I didn't have kids.
True.
But when Andy and I started talking about wanting to have children, I said, I need to find somewhere to go because it made me feel better to get up, get dressed, and go to work. Mm-hmm. Whatever that looks like for some people.
Put you in the right mindset.
That's right. Yeah. Whatever that looks like for some people.
Because it's easy to work from home. It's too easy, actually.
I agree.
And work from home, how much work are you really doing unless you are one of those that's super structured?
No, I'm not. I've said this before. I would get in my office at about 11. I'd start working. I'd be really productive, and I have to take a shower before I do anything.
Me too.
So I'm showered. I'm dressed for the day, and I'm working in the office. About 11 o'clock comes, I look outside, and the lake is just glass.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I go grab my cooler and my paddleboard.
Yeah.
And work is over.
Well,
work's done, man. That's exactly.
But when you get out of the shower though, and you're dressed for the day, and you know you're going to be at home all day, that's probably like flip flops and shorts. Versus
it depends.
If you had to come into your share space you had, you probably would have wore something a little nicer.
See, most people would be like that. Personally, I'm not. If I've got work to do, I'm dressing, even if I'm working from home, I'm dressing the part just because it's a mindset.
Yeah, you're
that we talk about.
100%.
If I'm in flip-flops and board shorts, then I'm not typing the same email as if I'm in a dress shirt, blue jeans.
Well, let me give you a perfect example of that. I have clients all the time that I tell them, you just said CEO. I tell them all the time, you are the owner of this business. You are the CEO. You are the whatever. There's a mindset to that, and B, there is a side of that where people need to walk in a room, walk in a showroom, walk in an office, walk in whatever. Mm-hmm. And if the damn owner walks out, they need to know who it is.
Yeah,
that's right.
And when they know who it is, that makes a difference. And when you get up and you have a routine and you put on, I don't wear a tie every day. Ties are, I don't want to say going away, but it's definitely in a downturn with ties right now. But there's something about the mornings that I get up and I put on a coat and tie.
And you cinch that right there, you know you're ready to go.
There's something about that.
You're in war mode.
We talked about it in some other podcasts where, I was very athletic in high school, and I would literally, when I'd get ready for a football game, I'd be like dressed to everything would be perfect because Jerry Rice from San Francisco 49ers years ago, he always said, the better you look, the better you play.
100%.
And I don't think that quote was actually specifically to sports. I think it's more about anything.
Well, let me tell you this. You'll get a kick because you and I just met today. So I was an athlete all the way through high school and played baseball in college. And I was the same way. I was my nickname was Dirt Dauber. I was always the dirtiest guy at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But before the game, when we would do our sprints, if it had been raining, I used to be so pissed off because when I would run, I had my pants right, my jersey right, everything right, and I would splash up as I was running in the outfield, splash up mud on the back of my jersey. And it used to piss me off because the game hadn't even started yet.
Yeah.
Now, during the game, no big deal.
Well, once you get in the zone and you're doing the work,
whatever,
it doesn't matter, right? You're in the zone at that point. But you got to put yourself in the right mindset to go then do that work.
That's exactly right.
And that's how I was. Like my gloves would be everything would be literally perfect when I walked on that field.
Yeah. So like when COVID hit, you saw, everybody they looked good up top and boxer shorts and house shoes underneath because everything went to Zoom.
That's right.
I couldn't work like that.
Nor can I.
I just can't. I've got to be ready to go when I start my day. If I'm going to the Dollar General,
I'll tell you a funny.
I'm dressed in the part.
I'll tell you a funny story.
Not the Dollar General part, but the part to start my day.
I was about to say, what part are you dressing?
I'll tell you a funny story about. Hold on, because I want to get this because it's perfect timing. Me and Jared talked about a business one time, and he's not even gonna know what I'm talking about. I bet he's not gonna remember this.
Well, we talk a lot of them.
We do, but we had this idea of doing these CEO undershirts, is what we were gonna call them.
Oh yeah,
and it was gonna be like these shirts that would go under your. It'd be like the first shirt you put on, and it could be like an Under Armour style shirt, right?
Sure.
Something that kind of squeezes you in, makes you feel good. But it was gonna have writing on it, and it was gonna be like stuff that you wouldn't want people to see, but you knew was there, and it was gonna be like, you know what, fuck you. That's what I was gonna say on the thing.
Absolutely.
Or
I'm the man.
I'm the man. I'm taking this, or whatever it is. Like it was gonna have these sayings on it that would like inspire you, knowing you had this on underneath your suit. And
Football players do it all the time.
Yeah.
Look, King Baby still does it. Their pendants. You can get all the.
Yep.
We called it CEO, right?
Yep.
But those are the kind of the pendants because it's like
you tuck it in.
You don't see this.
But you know it's there.
I know
But think about, I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen the movie The Social Network.
Oh, for sure.
But Mark Zuckerberg is his name, right?
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg's first business card said CEO, bitch.
Yeah, that's right.
Coming from him.
Chief Equity Officer.
This is the same guy that rides a surfboard with a white face.
That's right.
He's translucent.
No, I'm talking about he coated it in zinc.
Yeah.
You see this?
He's transparent.
But there is something to be said for being prepared. And, you made a point about when you played athletics. And I was the exact same way. I coached a travel baseball team. And all the parents give me hell because they're like, I was so big on you. I bought the uniforms. I said, listen, y'all don't have to buy them. I'll buy every one of them because that's how particular I am. I don't want to hear anybody bitching and moaning about how expensive. I said, so I'm going to buy all the uniforms. I bought all the pants, all the jerseys. And I said, but along with that comes one thing. You don't have to give me credit for buying them, but what you do have to understand is I'm going to pick what we wear.
Yeah. And when you bring your kids, I want shirts tucked in.
Absolutely.
I want.
You're a baseball player. Don't come out here and tell me you forgot your hat.
Yeah. Don't have it all raggedy.
So you're like the Dabo of Little League.
It's 16 and under, so it's a little different. But
I think it matters, though. It really does matter.
It should. Well, it sets their mindset. It's all about mindset. It's all about mindset.
Yeah, everything.
So, Craig, what time do you turn your phone off for the day?
I normally put it up it's probably later than most, but probably about 10:30. Because again, going back to having a relationship with people, I want Jared Ketterman to feel like that if he's out one night, and he's thinking about it, why it's on his mind. He saw a guy with a cool sport coat.
That's right.
That he can text me a picture and say, hey, when you come over next time, I want this coat.
Which I have done.
Yeah.
So,
or I want to one up this dude.
Yep.
That's right. I tell people if you own your own business, don't give me any garbage about you ain't working. Yeah. You're always working.
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. No, I agree
always.
Yeah, because even if you're not talking to clients, you're thinking about the next thing or whatever.
Okay, let's get into fashion real quick. Can you wear brown shoes and a black belt?
No.
Can you wear brown shoes with any outfit?
Yes.
Can you wear black shoes with any outfit?
You probably can, but it doesn't look very good.
Well, you got to be careful with blacks and blues, right?
You can wear black shoes with blue suits, which is a very traditional look.
But not blue jeans.
No. I wouldn't do it, but
black shoes with blue jeans?
You can wear whatever you want, but So the first answer to all those things is yes, because you can wear whatever the hell you want to wear.
do whatever you
but
want, yeah.
It depends on do you want to look like an idiot or not.
I literally have had Craig say, I'm not doing that. I mean, I will, but don't
Yeah.
tell anybody you got to hear.
I didn't do it.
So I take his advice.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
He's the guy. He's a fashion guru.
I think it depends though. Like because you're talking about in a dress setting,
Well, I'm talking about any setting, really.
but I'm talking about like I've wore black Echoes with blue jeans and not necessarily a dress shirt.
Sure.
You know, just out kicking around in a.
I mean, fair.
Trying to think of a.
Well, Echoes are like the comfort.
But I think
right.
when you think about what he's referring to is
The dress setting.
you know, like, hey man, we're going out to eat or we're going to, you know,
Yeah.
do I need to wear this? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
Let me
I
give you
got
this.
you.
Let me give you this: button-up shirt, blazer, blue jeans, brown dress shoes.
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
No socks.
So yeah, that's right. Or hideaway socks.
Yep.
Yep.
See, I have a
Best
trouble.
thing ever invented.
I've got them on right now. I love them.
Unbelievable.
So I had a meeting with Lieutenant Governor a while back, and that's what I wore.
Yeah.
Blue jeans, dress shoes, Kahale
King baby.
shirt, and Kahale jacket.
Now
I got reamed.
Oh, really?
that you didn't have socks on.
Not that I had blue jeans on and not a full suit meeting Lieutenant Governor. I was like, look, this is me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be something I'm
Well,
not.
you're in her house now. And we both know the guy who told me that. And I just went, come on. He's like, you got if you're going to go to their door, then you need to look. Well, that's not me.
Yeah.
I would feel less comfortable
Sure.
in a suit in any situation than I do feeling comfortable with the way I dress. So
That's right.
I don't think there might be a precedence there, but I don't think.
Well,
or an unspoken rule.
I
but-
also think it depends on what your objectives are. If you're going there to try to impress her or to sell her on something, then yes, maybe you do dress the part.
I wore a blazer and a
Well,
button.
hold on. Maybe
I wore
you
a blazer, man.
maybe you do dress the part to her door, right? But if you're just going there to basically network and introduce yourself, then you want to be who you are,
That's right.
and that's what you basically did.
But here's what I tell people. Years ago in 2009, I built a house, and I went by the house every day because from the house I was currently living in to where my office was, my new house that was being built was right on the way. So I went by there every day, and I had a lot of people. I went by there every day in a full suit, and every day, you know, when I tell that story to people, they say, well, you went by there with all the, you know, the construction workers and you got out of your car in a full suit? And I said, yeah. I said, here's the deal. What comes out of your mouth is what people think of you.
Yeah.
Not whether you're dressed.
yeah.
And when I get out and I go over there and the guy's got a can of Skull Long Coat Wintergreen, and I can dip with him.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I can talk to him about what Dale Jr. did last weekend.
Well, now I will tell you this.
Then the suit's gone.
It is, but
The suit's gone.
His first impression is not that.
Of course it's not.
Right.
But
And
then you
it
change
takes-
that.
You're right.
That's your
You're
job.
right. You're right. It takes a minute and then it changes it. So I guess the opposite would work though, is if you really needed that first impression,
Sure.
then that's where the suit really comes in handy.
Well, I know a lot of idiots in suits.
Absolutely.
or
Just
vice
because-
versa.
Yeah, or vice versa.
Not only that, I know some really smart guys that don't wear suits.
Absolutely.
So we talked about this before the podcast. I want to get into it before we end. CEOs today do not dress like CEOs did 6 years ago, 5 years ago, maybe. They are more entrepreneur-based CEOs. They are in dress shoes, blue jeans, T-shirt, long sleeve T-shirt, not much button up, maybe a blazer if they're going out with a T-shirt. Do you see the suit industry dipping because of this? Not trend, but I guess it is a trend.
It is a trend. We kind of talked about this before. I think it's because these CEOs created the business. And so they're like, you know what?
I do what I want.
I do what I want.
I'm not dressing like my dad told me to.
Right.
In
I'm
the
doing what I
70s.
want. But what I think is going to happen though, and everything kind of does, there's this pendulum swing, right? Where, you know, these kids can get away with it because the CEO does it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think at some point you always want to kind of one up the next guy in the corporate world. And I think once these CEOs either hand it off to a legit CEO or you have less of these startup guys actually still being the CEO as they get, I think you see it go the other way where it's like, there's nothing wrong with coming in with, you know, in a sweatsuit or whatever. But if me and you're on the same plane and I come in dressed nice and you're in a sweatsuit, they're probably going to take me a little more seriously than you.
That's right.
Well,
Craig, what do you think?
This is the way you can look at it, and there's idealist and then there's realist, and at the end of the day, we can say whatever we want. If you roll up in somewhere and you're dressed in a coat and tie, and right, wrong, or indifferent, people look at you different.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
They're going to look at you different. They're going to treat you different. Now, again, what I just said, I will stick by. The words that come out of your mouth is how they judge you. But when you walk in somewhere and you are dressed, that first impression is what happens. Okay, I don't know who this guy is. This guy may be an asshole, but he's for real. You might not. He might have just thrown a suit on for the first time.
He at least tried.
He at least tried.
Yeah.
And then you can go from there. My favorite saying when I have clients, and this happens to me almost on a daily basis, I'll get a text. Hey, Craig, I'm going to XYZ event. What do I need to wear? I always go up because I tell everybody, you can never, the worst thing in the world is to go somewhere and be the worst dressed person.
That's right. Being overdressed is better than being
underdressed. And if you go in and you're dressed like I am, if you go in and you're dressed like I am right now, I have a navy blue suit on, a red tie, and a white shirt. Maybe the most boring thing, just because I saw a particular client today, and this was what he wanted to look at. But if I go out to a bar afterwards, which may happen, I'll take my tie off.
You can dress
unbutton
down.
my shirt, take my coat off.
Yeah, you can dress down.
And we're good to go.
Yeah.
And you're good to go.
But you can't dress up.
But I can't go into a place that's black tie and say, oh, damn, I got a T-shirt on and a pair of khakis.
Yeah.
Okay, so black tie events.
Yes, sir.
Truly by definition? Black
Absolutely. Tie? No.
Yeah.
Tuxedo, though.
Yeah, but I can wear a blue tie to a black tie event?
Absolutely.
So what signifies a tuxedo? Is it the outside of the pinstripe?
Satin on the lapels.
It's the cucumber. Not the cucumber. What do you call it?
The cucumber.
You know what? That's what I'm changing it to.
Cummerbund.
Yeah,
that's it.
But you don't here. I will give Jared. I'm going to go buy him a beer right when we're done. If you can spell cummerbund,
because it's not spelled like it smells. He thought it was a cucumber.
Do you know what it is?
No, I
Cumberbun.
It's one word. Cummerbund.
I spelled it. It's
Spell it again.
Cumber.
No, you missed. It's two M's.
Cumber bun.
Cucumber bun. That's what I'm going to start telling people. Listen, dude, buy this tuxedo. I'll give you a free cucumber bun.
They wouldn't know the difference.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't.
They wouldn't know the difference.
But no, here's what's happened. In fact, you talk about with clothing trends. This is one thing that I think that I found so interesting over the last 24 years in the clothing world. The words, the definitions have changed. Mm-hmm. Formal used to be the way I'm dressed right now. Right. Coat and tie.
Yeah.
Semi-formal was nothing but the way I'm dressed right now, but take your tie off. Sport coat, pair of pants.
And no blue jeans whatsoever.
Black tie was a tuxedo.
Yeah.
So when you would get a wedding invitation 30 years ago, and it said formal,
you had to wear a tie.
You wore a coat and tie.
Yeah.
But what would we think nowadays? Oh shit, I gotta wear a tuxedo.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That's not the real rules.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's changed.
So not only that, like semi-formal, now people show up in anything.
Semi-formal to people now is shorts and flip-flops.
Yeah, it's like how I go to church maybe.
Jared's like, what's up? I get to wear a T-shirt and flip-flops.
Semi-formal should not even exist. I call it today business casual.
Business casual. But business casual came from a word that the English used to use called posh casual. Posh casual was a sport coat, an open collar shirt, and a pair of slacks. Not flip-flops and a pair of khakis.
In it, yep.
I am guilty of wearing flip-flops, blue jeans, a blazer, and a T-shirt.
Do you know, can I tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
First time I ever talked to him, he said, you got jeans? I said, yeah. He said, now listen, I got different kinds of jeans. I said, okay, what kind? He said, I got my flip-flop jeans, I got my regular shoe jeans, and I got my boot jeans. Is that not true? Didn't you tell me that?
That is 100%
Yeah,
true.
the boot jeans got to be longer than the flip flop jeans.
He said, now
100%.
my flip-flop jeans can't go under the heel.
Yeah,
No, that's
and my boot jeans have to be. I was like, good God. Somebody tell this guy to lose my phone number.
Dude, I had Is it Dumas Brothers on King Street? I had Dumas. I brought a really nice pair of denim, J brand. Love the jeans. I mean, love them.
Good pair of jeans.
And I said, hey, I want to cut this much off. He's like, look, sir, that's not in style. I'm going to cut it way shorter than that. I said, it needs to touch the bottom of my flip-flop. These are flip-flop jeans that I'm buying. He looked at me like,
You were a freaking idiot.
whatever. So Dumas does tailor on site, but I didn't have time to wait for it. He said, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. We'll ship it to you. They shipped it to me. I mean,
Damn high waters.
2 inches higher than I wanted them cut.
Yeah. I'll tell you a funny story. So before obviously he met you, I think you just moved back.
We know in my life when I met you, and before I met you, and after I met you.
He hits me
What
up.
is it? PC, pre-Craig.
He hits me up one day and he goes, "Hey, dude, I'm gonna go to Greenville and buy some jeans. You want to ride with me? You can help me out." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go with you." Well, I was wearing like at the time I was like an Echo and jeans all the time. It didn't matter what I was doing for whatever reason. That was my thing. I don't even remember. I was on like 7 jeans. I don't know, some kind of brand name jeans, whatever. But I really like, to me personally, when you're dressing, you're gonna try to dress up with jeans, you go with a darker jean.
Yeah, that's changing a little bit now.
Yeah,
but
I like
so,
a way lighter
so
wash.
we go shopping, and he goes in these places, and he's like getting all these jeans, and I'm like, dude, you need to get some of these, get some of those. He's like, man, that's too dark for me. I can't do those. Mm-hmm. He was getting like rocker whitewashed acid
wash.
Yes, and that's all he would get. I'm like,
What's wrong with that, though?
nothing.
There's nothing from 1989.
I mean,
Van Halen was my hero. No, I'm just kidding.
but these were supposed to be like dress up jeans a little bit. We're
Like
trying to
ones that look like a chemical experiment messed up on them.
The only thing they were lacking was the rips.
That's right.
They were straight up out of.
You know what, Jared? You wear those if you want to, buddy.
By God.
You don't wear them no more though.
I got
You know, acid wash is coming back.
Is it?
You
But
watch
in
it.
the dress up
When we were in New York a couple weeks ago for one of the little fashion things we go to. They're trying.
really,
They're trying
that's
hard.
crazy.
Yeah, I tell you, who I'm really into right now for my denim is MAC. MAC.
Yeah,
Their denim is probably my favorite cut right now.
I remember one of the first like high dollar jeans that we sold was a company called, I don't even know if they're in business anymore. It's called Chip and Pepper. Do you remember Chip and Pepper?
don't.
That was the first jean that I ever saw that was like $200.
yeah.
But they were nice. And now, but see, another thing that's happening in the fashion world too is how old are you guys? How old are you?
45.
A year below you.
Yeah,
All right. So we're all about the same age. So we all remember this. When we were growing up, if you dressed up to go to school for some reason, whatever, I don't know, you had a program or whatever, you wore a blue blazer and a khaki pair of pants.
Yeah.
Cotton khakis or whatever.
Yep.
Jeans overtook that about 20 years ago. The khakis kind of went away. Like nobody wore khaki pants anymore for that look. Everybody went to jeans.
Yeah.
Because for the longest time, jeans were garbage. Rednecks wore jeans. I mean, I'm not saying that. I'm serious.
you. Yeah,
that
I'm
was
with you. Denim.
You didn't,
Denim
wear,
and
you didn't wear denim.
Yeah.
That's right.
But now jeans are like. I mean, hell, you can buy a pair of jeans off the rack in Atlanta for $400.
Yeah, and they'd have
I was about to say $400.
They have no denim in them. They're like
that's
rayon,
right.
and
that's right.
Yeah,
That's exactly right.
But man, they're comfortable.
they are comfortable.
And we do custom jeans. I mean,
Nothing
that's how
better
big of a
than-
deal it's become. Yeah.
Now I do
stretch.
have a pair of khakis that Craig made me, which is probably one of my favorites. And I'm not going to say khaki denim. Is denim a color or a material?
Denim's a material. Yeah.
So they're
So it is khaki denim. Yeah.
I mean, comfy.
Yeah,
Probably my favorite pair of khakis, and I don't have a lot of khakis. I wear them to golf.
Yeah, but but it's still a jean.
That's right.
It's still a
That's
jean.
right. Put
So-
me in slacks, and I'm going to be the most uncomfortable person in the room. Not
Yeah.
because they're physically uncomfortable. My mindset is
Yeah.
uncomfortable because I'm not
just
used to
feel
looking
weird.
like that.
And it goes
Yeah.
back to what he said.
That's right.
Look good, feel good.
yep,
100%.
yeah, and perform good.
Absolutely. It
better-
makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. It's a mindset thing.
Craig, where can people find you on social media?
So we're at Cahaley's on Instagram and Twitter, and Cahaley'sCustomClothing.com online. and Facebook, obviously.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'd love for people to go follow us. We put new outfits on constantly. We put new sport coats on. We put things that have come in of clients of ours. We obviously don't put any names out there. Your sport coat will be on social media in the next couple of weeks.
Hey, that's one of my favorite coats you brought today.
So we try to put different things out there. I have a lot of clients text me, say, hey, I saw this on Instagram. I want this coat. So as long as it's not you calling me and saying it's the one he was wearing, I'll tell him, hey, your boy got that coat. You can't do
I
that.
want the same coat, and I want his name in it.
And you want his credit card run.
Look here. Look here. Somebody in Oxford, Mississippi has one of my same coats with my name on it.
Oh, really?
This is true.
On the plane?
I left it in a bar at the Graduate Hotel, downtown Oxford, Miss.
You really did? You left your hotel there?
Sure did.
I mean, your coat there?
Yeah, sure did. And I love Oxford, Mississippi, one of the greatest little small town
Great
college towns ever. And we were 15 minutes away, and it just like a light bulb goes off. Called the hotel. It was like, check my closet. It's in the closet. No. And when they said no to that, I knew I left it.
You know, it'd be awesome is if you offered like some kind of Apple AirTag sewn into your coats.
I shipped a guy a bunch of his. Anyway,
That's pretty
Oxford.
cool.
Not to play on Oxford, the brand, OXXFORD, is arguably the nicest suit you can buy. They start about $6,000. And I have a customer of mine in DC who buys a lot of Oxford. And he shipped me some pants. He had lost some weight, wanted me to take them up. When he shipped them to me, he shipped me 9 pair of pants. And he shipped me an AirTag with them. He said, listen, this is about $10,000 worth of pants.
Yeah.
So put this AirTag in the front pocket when you send them back.
Pretty sick.
I said, okay.
Other than the Oxford, this is where we kind of want to get to a closing point with, but people think, oh my gosh, custom tailored shirts. Oh, I'm not spending $600 on a shirt. I can promise you, and I want you to talk more about this, Craig, but any store in Highlands and you buy a name brand shirt, you're going to pay more for it than a custom fit shirt for yourself. Am I wrong there?
No, absolutely correct. Because you think about it just from a business perspective. Anybody that sells on name brand things in stores, they have a lot of overhead to carry. They have a lot of they have. I mean, we've all heard the term MSRP. Mm-hmm. They have a number they're supposed to get. Mm-hmm. They actually have the manufacturer say, "Do not sell this shirt for less than this." Mm-hmm. They're normally the third person who got that shirt. There's the manufacturer, then there's the wholesaler, then there's the store that got it. So we work directly with the clothing manufacturers. I own the business. I don't have to hit any certain margin. I tell people all the time, if I want to give you the damn thing, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, that's right.
But my thing is all about the value. It's a $200 shirt or a $175 shirt, but like you just said, you can go buy. They're not going to name any names, but you can go buy any shirt. You can go buy a dress shirt at Belk's, a white dress shirt, and what is it, $120?
I'll name names. I used to be a huge Bugatti fan.
Okay.
I love their fit. I've got a Bugatti in that same pattern that you've got. Love the fit. I was Robert Graham because I loved what I call the loudness in the collar and on the cuffs. And I can go to Craig and get to pick out the loudness that I want.
And it's your shirt.
And the pattern. And it's measured and cut and trimmed just for my body.
And it's less expensive.
And it's cheaper.
And it's got your name in it.
And it's got my monogram on it.
Yeah. I tell people, don't you leave them shirts anywhere you ain't supposed to.
True. That's right. Was never there. Yes, sir.
Yes,
you
were.
Yes, sir. You
Counselor, I beg to differ. This is his shirt right here.
It's on the record that you did leave a jacket in Oxford.
Oh, there was a movie with Will Smith in it, Enemy of the State, when they grabbed his clothes from his house and put him at a murder scene.
Yes.
And it had his monogram and his cufflinks, and they tried to frame him for that.
That's right.
Yeah, that's the thing.
That's why I don't murder people.
No. Well, that's good. But you are one heck of a clothes measurer. What do you call yourself? You're not a tailor.
I'm not a tailor. I'm a business owner.
I heard that.
I'm a business owner first.
Fashion.
I try to think that I can help people put things together to make them look better, because in our world, and got most guys, they need help. And I don't say that making fun of them. It's just a fact. The only reason why I don't need help is what I do for a living.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I do need help with.
Yeah.
And I go to my guy for that, whatever that may be.
Now, you don't do anything female related, right? There's no dress shop. It is men's only. So my guys out there, I'm going to go ahead and throw this out here. Anybody that hears this podcast and drops the name when they meet any employee at Cahaley's Custom Clother, we will pay the first $1 of your purchase.
Oh, Lord.
Nice. I like that. All right. Let me put
How about you just give him a bottle of whiskey, some bourbon. He can take it to the store.
And they can drink that.
They can drink that. Yeah.
Note to self, add $1.
You probably need to add more than that because it's going to be a pain in the ass.
That's right. Well, we do have what's called an ass tax.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Jared has almost gotten that. No, I'm just kidding, Jared. He's been
His
awesome.
ass tax, what you should say is his ass tax has come down over the
That's
years.
right. Jared, I don't know how much time we got, but I love that when you talked to our friend, this was a couple years ago, Jared had ordered something for me, and I can't remember what the situation was. Whatever, it took way too long. I mean, and I admitted to him and said, "Listen, man, it's taking way too long.
It's not normal."
Well, he called one of our friends and said, "Hey, damn, like I ordered this a long time ago. Does Craig really like this?" He said, our friend said, no. He's not like that. And he said, there's probably a reason. Jared said, okay, well, I'll just let it be. And I called him and I said, man, I'm sorry. So anyway, it ended up being fine.
Yeah.
But it was funny that he called and checked on me. It's like, I'm just curious if this guy's ever done this.
I'm trying to get my credentials up. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure I'm dealing with the right guys.
Yeah.
All right, guys, listen, that's going to wrap it up with this episode 26 with Craig Cahaley. Craig, can't thank you enough. And you got his contact information. You got his address. You can find him on social media, Cahaley's Custom Clothing. Do you have a favorite quote that is one of your go-to quotes that just kind of like...
I think you just give us that one you gave us earlier.
That was a pretty good one.
I have two. I say that cost is only an issue in the absence of value. Mm-hmm. And if your presence isn't felt, then your absence won't be missed.
Boom. I like that one too.
Awesome. Guys,
so those are two. Thank you guys very much. It's fun.
Appreciate it.
That's a wrap. Thank you.